tutorial, I'm going to be working with my 4 yarn. So this is from a brand called Ashian, and I'm going to be using my stitch marker and my size 4mm hooks. So they are both size 4mm hooks. I'll just be switching between both of them because sometimes this one gets rusty. It's really old, so I might just be switching between the two size 4mm hooks. But you can use any hook of your choice. It all depends on you and how tight you want the stitches to be. So now to get started, I'm going to start by making a foundation chain of 120 stitches. So I'm going to leave the charts for a size small and a size large or extra large. I'll leave the charts in the description box or somewhere in the corner of the video, but this one is for a size medium to large. So I'm going to start by making a chain of 120. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So I did a total of 120 stitches plus an extra chain because when I join the two ends together, one stitch is going to be left out. So I just did 120, and if I put my hook in the stitch to attach the two ends, I'm going to have a total of 120 stitches. So I have a total of 120 stitches. Now the next thing I'm going to do is start by using my stitch marker to mark off where I want the arms to be. So for that, I'm going to start by counting 15 stitches from this end. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Now I'm going to put my stitch marker in the 15th stitch. Now count 30 stitches away from the stitch marker. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30, and put your stitch marker in the 31st stitch. So the next stitch is my 31st stitch. So count 30 stitches away from the stitch marker. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30. Put your stitch marker on the 30th stitch. Count 30 stitches away from the stitch marker. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30, and put your stitch in on the 31st stitch. So now between these two stitch markers, I have a total of 30 stitches. So from this stitch to this stitch I have 30 stitches. Then between the two stitch markers I have 30 stitches, making it 60. From this stitch marker to this stitch marker I have 30 stitches, and then between the two stitch markers I have 30 stitches, making it a total of 120 stitches. Now for the first row, I'm going to go around with 1 double crochet in each stitch. So chain 3, which serves as my first double crochet, and go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet. Now continue with 1 double crochet in each stitch till you get to where your stitch marker is. I'm at the stitch where my stitch marker is. So in the stitch where you have the stitch marker, I'm going to go in with 1 double crochet. Now chain 2 and go back into the same stitch with 1 double crochet. So this is going to be the first corner for the sleeve. Now continue with 1 double crochet in the rest of the stitches till you get to the next stitch marker. So I'm just going in with 1 double crochet in each stitch. So I've gotten to my second stitch marker and I'm going to go into this stitch with 1 double crochet, chain 2 and go back into the same stitch with 1 double crochet. So I have my second corner. Now just continue with 1 double crochet in the rest of the stitches till you get to your next stitch marker. So each time you get to a stitch marker, go in with 1 double crochet, chain 2 and go back in with 1 double crochet. I'm at the end of the first row and I'm just going to slip stitch into the chain 3 that I did at the beginning of the row. So in each stitch where I have my stitch marker, I went in with 1 double crochet, chain 2 and 1 double crochet. So the corners for the top is already formed. So now for the second row, I'm going to chain 3. Now I'm going to be working with the front and back post of each stitch. So I'll be doing the front and back post rib stitch. So for that, I'm going to start by going into the front post of the first stitch with 1 double crochet. Now go into the back posts. So this is the back posts and this is the front post. So I went to the front post. Now I'm going to go into the back post. The double crochet. Go into the front post, so yarn over and go into the front post, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Now yarn over and go into the back post of the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So I'm working with 1 double crochet into the front and back post. So you're just going to keep on alternating between the front and the back posts till you get to where the stitch marker is. So now I've come to my corner. This is where the stitch marker is and I'm at the corner where I did 1 double crochet, chain 2 and 1 double crochet. So since I ended with a back post, in this double crochet of the corner, I'm going to go in with 1 double crochet. In the chain 2 space, go in with 1 double crochet, chain 2 and go back into the chain 2 space with 1 double crochet. Now go into the front post of the next stitch with 1 double crochet. going to the back post of the next stitch. So just keep on alternating between the front post and the back post with 1 double crochet till you get to the next corner. I'm at the second corner where I have my stitch marker, and I ended with a front post double crochet. So I'm going to go into the back post of this first double crochet of the corner. And the chain 2 space, I'm going in with 1 double crochet, chain 2, and go back in with 1 double crochet. So since the stitch before the double crochet of the corner is a back post, I'm going to start with a back post. So in this first corner, the stitch before the double crochet of the corner was a front post, so I started with the front post after the double crochet, and this one is a back post, so the next stitch after the V-stitch is going to be a back post. Now just continue with alternating between the front and the back post till you get to your corner. So for the other corners, just repeat what you did for the first 2 corners. I've come to the end of the second row, so I'm going to slip stitch into the chain 3 I did at the beginning of the row. For the third row, I'm going to repeat what I did for the second row. So I'm going to start by chaining 3. Now I'm going to go into the front post. So each time I see a front post, I'll go into the front post, and each time I see a back post, I'll go into the back post. So since I have a front post stitch, I'm going to go into the front post stitch with 1 double crochet. Now go into the back post with 1 double crochet. Go into the front post with 1 double crochet. Go into the back post with 1 double crochet. So keep on alternating between the front post and the back post till you get to your corner. Now I've gotten to the corner, to the first corner. So since I have a front post before this double crochet, I'm going to go into the back post of this first double crochet before the chain 2 space. In the chain 2 space, go in with 1 double crochet, chain 2, and go back in with 1 double crochet. Now since I had a back post before the chain 2 space, I'm going to start by going into the back post after the chain 2 space. So go into the back post with 1 double crochet. Now continue alternating between the front post and the back post till you get to the next corner. So I've gotten to the second corner and I ended with a back post stitch before the double crochet of the corner. So I'm going to go into the front post next with 1 double crochet. Now in the chain 2 space, go in with 1 double crochet, chain 2, and go back in with 1 double crochet. Now since I have a front post before the chain 2 space, I'm going to start with a front post after the chain 2 space. Now just keep on alternating between the front post and the back post till you get to the next corner. So for the other corners, just repeat what you did for the first two corners. So from here on, the rest of the rows are repetitive. So for the rest of the rows, I'm going to be repeating what I did for the row 3, and I'm just going to keep on repeating until I get the amount of rows I want for my sleeve, and then the amount of rows I want for the other arm, and then I'll show you guys how to do the body of the top and the arm of the top. So for now, just keep on repeating the second and the third round until you get the length you want. Then I'll show you guys what to do next. I did a total of 13 rows of the rib stitch. So now I'm going to work on the body of the top. So for that, I'm going to start by tying my yarn at this end. So this end that we did our increase, 2 double crochet. Let me put it so you see. So I'm going to start by tying my yarn at this chain 2 space where I did 2 double crochet. Now that I've tied my yarn, I'm going to make a chain of 12. So if you want the armhole to be wider, you can increase the amount of chains. It all depends on you. But I'm making a chain of 12. Now I'm going to attach this chain I just did to this other end where I have my 2 double crochet, chain 2 space. So I started by tying my yarn at this chain 2 space. Now I'm going to attach the chain to this chain 2 space on the other side. So this is where the armhole is going to be, and this is going to be the body of the top. So I'm going to fasten off the yarn. I really can't find my scissors, so sorry guys, try to use your scissors so you don't get hurt. So I'm going to do the same thing I did on this side at this end. So tie the yarn at this chain 2 space. Chain 12 or the amount of chains you want to make, but like I said, I chained 12 on this end, so I have to make a chain of 12. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Now attach this chain to this chain 2 space. So I have my armhole and my the body of the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start by putting 1 double crochet on the chain space. So chain 1, going to the first chain space with 1 double crochet, going to the next one with 1 double crochet. So just put 1 double crochet on the chain stitches. Now I've come to the end of the chain. So what I'm going to do now is, since I have a front post stitch, rib stitch here, I'm going to go into the front post and do a double crochet. I have a back post in the next stitch, so go into the back post with 1 double crochet. Go into the front post with 1 double crochet. Go into the back post with 1 double crochet. So where you see a front post, you go in with a front post, and where you see a back post, you go in with a back post rib stitch. So I'm just going to keep on alternating between the front post and the back post till I get to this other chain. Now I've come to this chain stitch, so I'm going in with 1 double crochet in the chain stitch. Now that I've come to the end of the chain stitch, on the body of the top, the first stitch is a front post, so go into the front post with a front post double crochet. Go into the back post because it's a back post. The next stitch is a back post, so go into the back post with 1 double crochet. Go into the front post with 1 double crochet. Go into the back post with 1 double crochet. So just keep alternating between the front post and the back post till you get to the end of the round. So I've come to the end of this round and I'm back to this chain stitch where I did double crochet. So what I'm going to do now is I ended with a back post stitch, so the next stitch is going to be a front post. So go into the front post of this double crochet with a front post double crochet. Go into the back post of the next stitch with 1 double crochet. Go into the front post with 1 double crochet. Go into the back post with 1 double crochet. Go into the front post. So you're just alternating between the front post and the back post. So just keep alternating between the front post and the back post till you get to this other end, and then I'll show you what to do. So now I've come to this other end where I have my chain stitch and I did the double crochet stitch. So I ended with a front post, meaning the next stitch is going to be a back post stitch. then front post, and then the back post. So just keep alternating between front post and back post till you get to the end of this round. Now I've come to the end of the round, so I'm just going to be repeating what I've been doing from the beginning of the top. So I'll just be alternating between the front post and the back post. So where I say my back post, wherever I say back post, sorry, I go in with a back post stitch, and where I say front post, I go in with the front post stitch. So I'm just going to keep on alternating between the front post and the back post stitch till I get the length I want for my top. The body of the top, I did a total of 30 rows. Now you can make this longer or shorter. It all depends on how cropped you want your top to be. But I just did a total of 30 rows for the rib stitch. Now for the sleeves, as you can see, I already did one sleeve, so I'm going to do the other sleeve to show you how I did the sleeve on this side. So for that, I'm going to start by tying my yarn at one end. So I'm just tying my yarn at one end. You can start from anywhere. So now that I've tied my yarn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now since I have a front loop rib stitch, I'm going to start by going into the front loop with 1 double crochet. Now work 1 double crochet into the back loop since the next stitch is a back loop. So yarn over and go into the back loop of the next stitch with 1 double crochet. Go into the front loop of the next stitch with 1 double crochet. So I'm basically just repeating what I did for the body of the top. When you see a back loop, go into the back loop, and when you see a front loop, go into the front loop. So we're still working with the back post, front and back post of each stitch. So you're working with the front and back post double crochet. So go into the back post, go into the front post. So just keep working 1 double crochet into the front and back posts. You're just alternating between the front and the back post till you get the length you want for the sweater or for the top. So I'm going to continue this till I get the amount of rows I want for the sleeve. And for this sleeve, I did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I did a total of 7 rows for the sleeves. So meaning I'm going to do 7 rows for this sleeve. So just keep on alternating between the front and the back post till you have the length you want for your top. So I'm just going to finish this and then I will show you guys how to do the neckline. So I'm done with the sleeves. You can make it longer or shorter, it all depends on how you want your sleeves to be. So now for the neckline, I just attached my yarn at one end. Now I'm just going to be putting one single crochet around the neckline. So going to each stitch with one single crochet. So I'm just doing this to clean up the neckline of the top. You can skip this or you can go around with one single crochet. It all depends on you. But I'm just trying to give the neckline a neat seam. So just continue with one single crochet in each stitch. Now I'm done going around with one single crochet, and that's it for the top. So like I said, you can make it longer or shorter. It all depends on how cropped you want the top to be. You can also customize the hands by, the sleeves by making them longer or shorter. It all depends on your preference. So thank you so much for watching, and if you liked this tutorial, please subscribe and I'll see you in my next tutorial.